I will just just to recall the whole incident and then start somewhere in between so that nobody is affected. Okay, right. First, they had the planet Venus, an explanation and things like that. So that's what in some sections are done up to 109. So then from 110 on page number 110, I will just explain what happened. Then we will go to next one. So please take page number 110, especially those students who did not finish. So there's nothing important there except that it's very important point. There's very important point they are discussing there, but nothing much difficult to understand. So they are saying that Margot was different from other children. Why she was different? Because first of all, she was not born and brought up there. She came from planet Earth, and when she was 4 years old, up to 4 years she lived there. Then she came here. So now she is here, and she was quite different from others. She did not join them in their games. She did not play with them. So she did not sing songs with them. She did not do anything with them. So her socialization point of view, socialization was very poor. Only thing she joined is when they spoke about summer or sun. When children spoke about sun or summer, she joined them. Otherwise, she did not join them in any of the conversation, any games or anything. It was because she was interested only in sun. She was feeling homesick. She was not feeling at home at Venus. That's what they're speaking about in page number 110. Then there is a kind of argument between, she has an idea about sun. She knows what sun is. So she was trying to say sun is like that. So then there is an argument between she and the other children. And it goes on to the next page, number 111 also. It goes on to the same theme, why she was not showering. And slowly she was different and they knew her difference and kept away. Continuation of the same theme is there. Then there is a quarrel between William and Margot. William is the sort of villain or bad boy, and Margot is a heroine. So there is a kind of interaction between these two, and there is an argument. That's what we see on page number 111 in the beginning. See there, after the first paragraph, you see, get away. The boy gave her another push. What's you? What are you waiting for? Then for the first time, she turned and looked at him, and what she was waiting for was in her eyes. Well, don't wait around here, cried the boy savagely. You won't see anything. Her lips moved. Nothing, he cried. It will all a joke, wasn't it? He turned to the other children. Nothing happening today, is it? They all blinked at him and then, understanding, laughed and shook their heads. So now what is going on is this William. He wants to play prank with uh, Margot. So since she is different from them and she is not joining them for everything, what he wants to do is he wants to keep her away from seeing the sun. So for that he is playing a joke. He says it's no. Scientists are simply saying that the sun will come. The sun is not going to come. So then she says, no, they cannot be wrong. They have said it. I says, no. It's only a joke. They said it for joke. It's not correct. So when he said that, other students were not able to understand. Then he gives them a hint. It's only just to fool her. So you also support me. So they all of them supported saying that yes, it is true. the sun is not going to come. So there is a conversation going on. The last one, all a joke, said the boy, and seized her roughly. Hey, everyone, let's put her in a closet before the teacher comes. Let us lock her up in a closet before the teacher comes. That's what the suggestion given by William. No, said Margaret, falling back. This page 112, page number 112. No, said Margot, falling back. They surged about her. Surge means move around. Move around. Surged about her is powerfully put her forward, push her, and come around her, and then rounded her, protesting and then pleading and then crying back into a tunnel, a room, a closet, where they slammed and locked the door. So they took her to the tunnel, underground tunnel. Then they took her to a room, and then they took her to the closet, pushed her into the closet. Closet is a place where you change dress. It's a big area, something like a cupboard which is low up to the floor. You can go inside and close the door and change your dress and all. So that even other people are there also, you can use it. Closet can be used for changing dress and all things like that. So they pushed her inside the closet and locked her up. Back into the tunnel, a room, a closet where they slammed and locked the door. Slam is shut forcefully. Shut forcefully. Slam. Slammed. Shut forcefully. So this is a past tense. Slammed, shut forcefully. Shut is same. Shut, shut, shut. So therefore, SLA of slam is to shut. Slammed is shut. So they slammed and locked the door. They stood looking at the door and saw it tremble from her, beating and throwing herself against it. So she is inside. She is trying to come out. She is pushing the door, beating on the door. They could see the door shaking. She was very badly pleading. Please open the door. Please open the door. They could hear it. They could see it shivering, trembling. Tremble means to shiver. Tremble from her beating and throwing herself against it. They heard her muffled cries. Muffled is unclear. Muffled. Muffled is unclear. Not so clear. Unclear. Why it is unclear? Because the door of the closet is locked. So she is trying to cry out, but it's not so well heard. Muffled cries. She was crying. It was not heard. Then, smiling, they turned and went out and back down the tunnel just as the teacher arrived. So that's what they wanted to do. Before the teacher arrived, they wanted to lock her up. So they locked her up. She was crying, asking them to open. But they did not pay heed to her, left her there, closed the door, came back to the tunnel, came to classroom before the teacher came. Ready, children? She glanced at her watch. So now it is the time. This is the day, the one day which comes in 7 years, wherein the sun will appear. And now everybody is eagerly waiting to receive the sun. For some of them, maybe for the first time, with every knowledge, with the pure knowledge or some pre-understanding, they are going to watch the sun. Ready, children? She glanced at her watch. Yes, said everyone. All said, yes, we are ready. The rain slacked still more. Already we have seen the meaning slack. There's already slowing down. Rain became still lesser. They crowded to the huge door. They crowded to the huge door. So far they were crowding to the window, crowding to the window, the glass, and they were trying to look outside. Now they are going to go out for the first time. So they're waiting. All were crowding to the door. The rain stopped. So a great consolation. After 7 years, for the first time, the rain stopped. It was as if in the midst of a film concerning an avalanche, a tornado, a hurricane, a volcanic eruption, something had first gone wrong with the sound apparatus, thus muffling and finally cutting off all noise, all of the blasts and impercussions and thunders, and then second, ripped the film from the projector and inserted in its place a beautiful tropical slide which did not move or tremor. The world ground the world ground to a standstill. The silence was so immense and unbelievable that you felt your ears had been stuffed or you had lost your hearing altogether. The children put their hands to their ears. They stood apart. The door slid back, and the smell of the silent, waiting world came into them. So the paragraph sounds a little difficult, doesn't matter. Nothing that difficult, I will explain. First, you just midst is middle of, midst, M-I-D-S-T, the first line. Midst is in the middle of. Avalanche. Avalanche is a mass of snow or rocks falling. A mass of MASS. Mass is a which large in quantity. A great quantity of rocks, snow, etc. falling. Avalanches are very common in the Himalayas, in Jammu and Kashmir, and many places. Avalanches are very common. That is a huge ice filled with ice, and all together, all these things, along with rock and other things, will be falling. When it falls, even so many, if it falls on the vehicle down the road, they will be just pressed like that. So avalanches are a very dangerous thing. Tornado is a violent and destructive storm, like a cyclone. So one form of cyclone, one form of cyclone. So violent and destructive storm. That is a tornado. Hurricane is a kind of a whirlwind. It's like a whirlwind, one sort of wind. Then on the third line, you have muffling. Third line, apparatus is instrument. Apparatus, APPARATUS. Apparatus is instrument. Muffling is covering. Muffling is a covering. You have muffler that covers your neck. Muffling. Precautions. Fifth line, first word, precautions. Repercussions. Sorry, repercussions. Repercussions and is an unintended consequence and of event. The result of an event. Unintended means not intended, not planned. Unplanned result, you can say. Unplanned result of an event. Unplanned result of an event. So repercussions, thunders, ripped. Okay. Then next, sixth, seventh line, tremor. Slide which did not move or tremor. Tremor means to shake, quiver. QUIVER, quiver or shaking. Then next line, stand still. Stand still means no movement or action. Stand still means be quiet. No movement or no action. So what now I'll explain what it means. Simple thing. What they're trying to say is so far till now, for all the 70 years, there was a lot of rain, storms, avalanches, and so many hurricanes, other things happen. So now suddenly what happened? Everything, the rain stopped. The whole scene is changed. A new scene has set in where everything became so silent, so quiet. So it's a drastically just opposite of what was happening till now. So that's what it means. We'll see. It was as if in the midst of a film concerning an avalanche, a tornado, a hurricane, a volcanic eruption, something had first gone wrong with the sound apparatus, thus muffling and finally cutting off all noise, all of the blasts and repercussions and thunders. And then, second, rip the film from the projector and insert it in its place a beautiful tropical slide which did not move or tremor. So the author is saying it is something like a film was going on. The film was about avalanches, tornado, hurricane, etc. So when there is an avalanche, there's a huge rocks and snow falling. And in Toronto is a terrible storm, terrible storm. And the hurricane is a whirlwind, takes everything out, up like that. So that was a movie was about that. Then suddenly what happened? Something went wrong with the sound apparatus. It is like mute. Suppose I mute this one. So when I muted, I was speaking, but you are not able to hear. See? So the sound apparatus went off. If the my sound apparatus goes off here, or if I mute, you can hear me at all. You can't hear me at all. So that's what it means. The sound apparatus suddenly went off. Then what happens? The picture is going on there, but no sound is heard. So already there is a change of scene. Then, since the sound apparatus is not working, then what they do? They stop the projector. They stop the running of the film, and they inserted another slide inside. That side, when they inserted that slide, everything was quiet. So now there is no violence, no tornado, no hurricane, no storm, nothing is there. The scene is gone, sound is gone, everything is gone. Now a new scene has come. That's it. Thus muffling and finally cutting off all the noise, all of the blasts and repercussions and thunders. And then second, the first one is over. First one is the sound apparatus went off. So no sound. Secondly, what happened? Rip the film from the projector and inserted in its place a beautiful tropical slide which did not move or tremor. They inserted a slide which does not move. Like sometimes when the TV channels, when they are not able to broadcast or they are not able to telecast properly, they'll give some picture. They'll keep it like that. When you put on the channel, only that picture you'll see. So a slide which will remain there like that, which did not tremor, which did not shiver. The world ground to a standstill. The world came to a standstill. World came to a standstill means everything became silent. No noise, no violence, no moving. Everything came to a standstill. The silence was so immense and unbelievable that you felt your ears had been stuffed or you had lost your hearing altogether. The silence was so immense. Immense means powerful. The silence was so powerful that they felt as if something has been kept, like a cotton. You are inserting cotton into ears. Something has been stuffed, inserted into your ear, or you felt as if you have lost your hearing at all, altogether, completely lost your hearing. The children put their hands to their ears. They stood apart. The door slid back, and the smell of the silent, waiting world came into them. So now they opened the door, and the silent world came into them. This is the author is using this example or imagery of the projector running with a violent scene and then losing the sound and then removing and keeping a still picture to show that to tell us that the vast difference between what was the situation before in Venus, before the sun, and what is the situation now. We should stop here.